Has been arranged in your YouTube channel, presented in uh, four part. So this is the first part. As for the lecture, we're going to see that how much time that we have. So today we're going to have 1 hour, and then I think that I'm going to stop until the part 2, where we're going to discuss about the tutorial that I put in this slide. Okay. So this is about the refrigeration cycle. I think that okay. So yeah, and then the working cycle is called as a refrigerant. So the refrigeration system, the magnitude of the heat removed from the refrigerated spaces called as the QL from the cold temperature. Then the magnitude of the heat rejected to warm space at the temperature TH is QH. So this is some of the example for the refrigeration system that you have. Okay, so this is a reverse Carnot cycle where the heat is uh, the heat is transferred from the cold region with the Q in, and then it's going to be transferred to the hot environment Q out. Okay, then it required a compressor power input and the output from the turbine. So this is for the reverse Carnot cycle. So the process by the compressor is happen with the isentropic process. Okay, and it has to end up at the saturated vapor. Okay, and then for number 3, 2 to 3, which is a Q out, this is a power input, and this is a power output, and this is a Q in. Okay, so this is the reverse Carnot cycle for the refrigeration cycle. So from this one, this is the net power output from this is from this W in minus W out, which is in the turbine. So this is a net work done on the refrigeration cycle. The coefficient of performance is depend on the desired output divided by the required input. Okay, so yeah, so this one. So as for the refrigeration or refrigerator, our desired output is the cooling effect, so which is the heat absorbed from the refrigerated spaces, whereby for the heat pump the desired output is the heating effect. Okay, so whereby this is the Q dot out and this is the Q dot in, and then our required input is the work net output, which is the difference between the power input to the compressor minus to the work output from the turbine. So the reverse Carnot cycle is the ideal cycle, but as you can see from the previous temperature entropy diagram, one of the ways is that it has to maintain several conditions. Yeah, the firstly is that the temperature for the working fluid is not similar as the temperature for the environment of the cold environment and hot environment. So for the cold environment, the temperature for the working fluid must be slightly lower than the temperature for the environment. cold environment. So in actual operation, the temperature for TL or TC has to be lower than temperature for the temperature for the uh, temperature for the refrigerated spaces. And then as for the for the condenser, in order for the condenser to expel or to transfer the heat to the surrounding, the temperature for the condenser has to be higher than the temperature for the environment. So that is a one deviation. And then another one is that, okay, so that the coefficient of performance for the refrigerated spaces is given by previous equation. And then another condition is that, as you can see from the temperature entropy diagram, okay, so this is a TS curve, okay, sorry, this one, and then yeah, okay. So the process from 1 to 2 in the compressor, at the beginning of the compressions, the operating of the compressor has to work in the multi-phase environment. So thus there will be wet or correctly liquid phase for your refrigerant. So this is not going to be good condition for the compressor to work with. So thus the compressor has to be ensured to be in the dry conditions. So thus the starting operating for the compressor has to be at least at the saturated vapor region, in order to make sure that the compressor is only working in the single phase condition. Otherwise your rotating equipment has to work in the two phase condition. So rotating equipment cannot work with the two phase conditions. And then finally the turbine which is used for the expansion of the working fluid is increase the capital cost and maintenance cost. So normally the turbine is replaced by the expansion valve in order to minimize the cost. So this is some basic component for domestic refrigeration system, whereby you have here a refrigerator, and then after it absorb the heat from the refrigerated spaces. Okay, so this is a refrigerated space. It will be compressed in the compressor, and then after that the heat will be rejected in the condenser and then expand in the expansion valve. Okay, so this is a household refrigerator. So this is a function of each component. So I'm not going to go through detail for each of these component. You can go through during the my YouTube video. So finally, what the schematic that you're going to have for the ideal refrigeration cycle, which is you have a wet evaporator. So this is a schematic diagram. Yeah, so this is a schematic diagram. Q in, heat absorbed from the refrigerated spaces in the evaporator, and then after that condenser. So what is condenser is that the heat is rejected to the hot environment. So in order to do that, like for example, our hot environment is how much temperature in Malaysia? Like for example 35 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. So the working fluid temperature has to be higher than 35 degrees Celsius. So if you look on the property table like this, okay, for example for the temperature entropy diagram, okay, so for 1 bar the temperature for example R134A, it is about -26. So is about minus 26 for 1 bar. Okay, or 1 bar is about 100 kilopascal. Okay, and then the heat can be absorbed from the refrigerated spaces. And then after that, how can you transfer the heat in the condenser to the environment, where our temperature for the environment is about 25 degrees Celsius? So which means that, let's say that our operating condition for the compressor will be about 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, so 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, 40 degrees. So which means that a compressor, and this 40 degrees Celsius in the refrigeration table, let's say that it shows about 1.2 bar, sorry, 12 bar, or 1.2 megapascal, okay, MPa. So it has to be, the compressor has to compress the refrigerant from 1 bar to 12 bar. Okay, so that conditions from 1 to 2, and then after that reject in the condenser with 40 degrees Celsius to the environment 35 degrees Celsius, and finally return in the expansion valve. Okay, so 1, 2, and then 3, and finally 4, and this is a Q in. Okay, so this is the expansion valve. So in the expansion valve there is no work. Okay, so thus the what you have here is that the enthalpy for the H3 is equal to H4. Yeah, so I forgot to mention about the heat, the equation for the heat Q in, which is for the Q in, the m dot is equal to, sorry, Q in is equal to m dot times the delta H, which is H1 minus H4. And then for the power input for the compressor, equal to m dot H2 minus H1. And then for the condenser, Q dot out equal to m dot H3 minus H2. Bear in mind that, sorry, yeah, so this is not 4, so this is a 3. So bear in mind that the H3 is lower than H2, so thus the condenser heat exchanging process in the condenser is in negative. So it means that the heat is rejected from the system to the surrounding. Alright, so this is all the processes. Okay, then this is the temperature entropy diagram. Okay, alright, so this is our input, isentropic, WC, isentropic, yeah, and this is the Q in, this is a Q out. Okay, so our coefficient of performance for the refrigerator will become COP R Q in over W dot C isentropic. Okay, so this is a pressure enthalpy diagram started at the saturated vapor. Okay, and then 2 to 3 heat rejection, Q out. So this is a enthalpy. So this is a W in. This is a Q out. So this is enthalpy straight. So this is a Q in. Okay, so this is the refrigeration effect. So this is the heat rejections. So make sure that you can first schematic diagram, and then temperature entropy diagram, and then thirdly for the pressure enthalpy diagram. So pressure enthalpy diagram is widely used in the industry for you to get the what call that, the properties from the refrigerant. Okay, so it should be like that for the overall. Okay, right. So this is a refrigerant effect. Refrigerant, you can refer to videos, and again this is the that going to be used. Okay, so this is the equation for the QR. This is at the throttling valve for the expansion valve. And yeah, so this is the coefficient of performance for the refrigeration cycle. And this is yeah, this is the flow. Okay, so this assignment due date on the this is quite simple. You just use this or the obtain all the required data from the property table. Firstly, you have to draw the schematic diagram, and then after that, temperature entropy diagram and the pressure enthalpy diagram. Okay, and then third, property table. Okay, which is the pressure 0.1 and 1.0 MPa. So the flow rate, the mass flow rate is 0.05 kilogram per second. So you look at that condition, the compressor efficiency is 100%. So the process that happen in the compressor is isentropic. So thus the entropy is S1 is equal to S2, which is, you have to look in the table. Okay, so that's, I give you the clue. Okay, so this is the second part, which is actually ideal refrigeration cycle. We are not considering any losses that happen in the compressor, in the condenser, and as well in the evaporator. In actual conditions, the process for the compressor um, is non-isentropic. Okay, isentropic process is adiabatic and reversible. But actually, in the conditions for the compressor, it is adiabatic, which means that there is no heat transfer happen. Okay, but in actual conditions, there will be a losses. Okay, so the losses of the part or component will create or will generate the entropy. Okay, so thus your your compressor power required will be larger than the isentropic compressor for the process. So previously, this is the isentropic compressor power, WCS, but in actual condition for the compressor to compress to the required pressure, it requires a bigger or larger power, which is, this is the actual power required to compress from evaporator pressure to the condenser pressure. Okay, and then this is the Q out. Okay, and this is for the enthalpy. Okay, pressure enthalpy diagram. Okay, with that we see the compressor efficiency. So we can define the compressor efficiency as the NC, which is compressor isentropic compressor power divided by the actual compressor power. So which is equal to m dot H2S minus H1 divided by m dot H2 minus H1. Okay, so this is with regards to the condition isentropic. temperature entropy, let's say from 1 to 2 here, S1 equal to S2S. So this is 2S, then this is the actual power 2. Okay, so this is 2. So this is amount of entropy generated, delta S. Okay, so I believe that in your thermodynamic 1 you have seen the entropy generation, which is delta S is equal to, what is it, Cp natural log P2 over P1 minus Cv natural log T2 over T1, something like that. Okay, all right, so this is assignment 2. Okay, so so what you have here is that use a almost similar conditions that applying with the actual exit temperature for the compressor, which is about 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the due date is 30th of May. All right, so that is first condition, which is the compressor is not running with 100% or is not running with the isentropic compressions. And then the second one is that the end of the evaporator, okay, so which is at the saturated vapor, there will be a superheated condition for the evaporator, whereby the beginning of the compression will be in the superheated region. So just to recall you for the thermodynamics 1, so this is a mixing region, this is a compressed liquid region, so and then this is the critical point, then this is the superheated region. Okay, all right, so it will begin at the superheated region, so that the compressor will running with the dry conditions. Okay, then a subcooling in the third condition is that a subcooling effect at the exit of the condenser. So this is a Q out. So the condenser will be operated and will extend the temperature not just to the TS but until to the compressed liquid region. Okay, so it will exit at the compressed liquid region and then will enter before it enter to the expansion valve. Okay, so this is the example that we're going to look. So in this example, we have to go back here and forth, especially to look on the property table. So I hope that you open the property table. I cannot see you, but please open the property table and then go to the R134A properties. Okay, so in this example, you're going to see a refrigerator uses R134A as a working fluid. The refrigerant enter at 0.14 MPa at minus 10 degrees Celsius. So in previous assignment, I give you a straightforward, but in here this is a little bit complicated, whereby it is combining of the superheated region and as well subcooling effect. Yeah, and then we also impose with the efficiency of the compressor and the working fluid mass flow rate at 5 kg per second. So what is the strategies for you to implement is that firstly to draw a schematic diagram, after that temperature entropy diagram, and then the pressure enthalpy diagram. So the purpose of the problem is to define the rate of the heat removal from the refrigerated spaces, which is the Q in, rate of heat rejected, Q out, and then you have to find the coefficient of performance, and then the quality of the refrigerant X. This is this one. And this is a 26 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then go back, and then this is state 4, this is state 1. Okay, so which is actually you can apply all the required from here. Firstly, the temperature for 0.14, which is 18.1877. So thus the state 1 will begin at the so which is actually this is minus 18, so this is a minus 10 actually. So this is a minus 10, so this is a V, this is the entropy. Okay, so at state 1, P equal to 0.14 MPa, T equal to minus 10 degrees Celsius. So S1 is equal to 0.9724, H1 is equal to 246.36 kilogram. Okay, so S1 is equal to S2. So at state 2 to S, sorry, at state to S, S1 is equal to S2S. So which is S1 equal to S2S equal to 0.9724. Okay, and then okay, and then after that the isentropic for that one, and then it is given that the efficiency is 85%, isn't it? Which is what you can do. Yeah, this is more straightforward actually. So at state 2, the temperature, okay, you don't have the temperature, but you have the efficiency. So which is, you can go to straight, yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. So this one, so anybody have class, please please let me know. Kita jam berapa sekarang? Tolong. Hello.
Pukul 9.55.
Okay, lambat lagi ya. Ada 5 minit lagi ya. Okay. Alright. So from this one, 0.9724, then H1, which is you have to find, you have to do the H2S. Yeah, you need to find the H2S, which is you have to do the interpolation. Okay, which is you have to do the interpolation. So let me erase on this side. Yeah, so for the interpolation, so to do the interpolation, what you have is here, let me change. Okay, interpolate. So 0.9724 is between this one. Okay, so what you have there, 0.9724 minus 0.9480 over 0.9802 minus 0.9480. Nanti you tolong calculate ya kat saya. Ada calculator ke? Saya tak ada calculator kat sini. Alright, and then after that the enthalpy which is H2S minus 276.45 over 286.69 minus 276.45. Okay, boleh tolong kirakan saya nilai H2S? Boleh? Tolong kira nilai H2S. Kau semua tak ada calculator. Berapa? Berapa value? How much is it? Okay. Berapa? Okay. So from the efficiency, and C equal to H2S minus H1 over H2 minus H1. Ya. Berapa? 0.8565. 0.8565. Okay. And then dapatkan H2S. Ya. Okay. Then you will get the H2S. H2S tu you masuk kat atas. You put in there. Okay. Then you will get the efficiency. Okay. Efficiency equal to 0.85. Okay. Then finally you can get the H2. Okay. Boleh. Which is okay. You can calculate the work in actual. H2 tolak dengan H1. You kira lah nanti. Okay, boleh. Sebab kita pun masa pun tak banyak ya. Boleh buat? Okay. Oh, hilang. Oh, banyak tempat kat sini ya. And then after that, tadi interpolation you dah buat, interpolation, and then the efficiency you dah kira, which is H2S minus H1 over dengan H2 tolak dengan H1, which is 0.85 equal to H2S tolak H1 over H2 tolak dengan H1. Okay, which is you can calculate the H2. Then W dot in equal to M dot H2 tolak dengan H1. Okay. So at the yang for the condenser, okay, as for the condenser, the temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. Yeah, tadi yang dia bagi tadi 26 degrees Celsius. So you don't have to take dekat 0.72. Okay, because if you look on the temperature, pressure is equal to 0.72 MPa, but which is actually in these conditions, no, you're going to have the pressure enthalpy diagram where the diagrams like that. Okay. Okay, so which is actually 0.72 something like yang kat bawah situ, and then the temperature pun kat that one. So which is actually the enthalpy for this is actually more toward dia duduk kat bahagian situ, which is actually the enthalpy for T3 dekat bahagian 3 kat situ, which is H3 is equal to HF at temperature 26 degrees Celsius. Okay, which is equal to HF at 87.83. Okay, so you don't have to take daripada saturated pressure. Okay, and then finally H3 is equal to H4, which is 87.83. Okay, and then go back to look dekat you punya table, then you can find the X value. Okay, so Q in is equal to m dot H for H1 minus H4. Q dot out equal to m dot H2 minus H3. Okay, so W in tadi dah kira, you have calculated that, and then finally you can calculate the coefficient of performance, okay, which is equal to, for the refrigeration, Q dot in minus over work in. Okay, and then in order to calculate the X value, okay, ada lagi. So X is equal to apa dia? 87.83 tadi. H4 equal to 83.87 ya. Okay, X is equal to 83.87 over HFG at 0.1, yeah, at 0.1. MPa. So you boleh dapat lah the value dia berapa. Okay, alright, so remember schematic diagram, and then temperature entropy diagram and the pressure enthalpy diagram, and then use a property table. Okay, whereby in the property table you connect it with the isentropic S1 equal to S2. Okay, alright, any questions? Tak ada ya? Okay, so this is assignment 2. Sorry, this is going to be assignment 3 lah. Okay, yang you kena calculate lah. So the due date is 30 hari bulan 5. Okay, so yang ini pula terbalik, I give you 80 degree Celsius, and then 40 degree Celsius sub cooling. Okay, tadi I give you the compressor efficiency, but this one I give you the temperature pula. So almost sama je proses dia. S1 equal to S2, you dapatkan dulu the value untuk H2 isentropic. Okay,